Hey, it's another beautiful Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the lovely ladies with me. Hi, ladies.
Good morning.
We're launching our new set today. Woo-hoo. You know, this was our original plan to have a table, and we used to have it when we started Your View. This is actually how we started. But for some reason, things evolved. We got a couch, you know, and now we're going back to the beginning. You know,
change is good.
Change is good, you know.
And the set is beautiful.
Thank you very much to those who put this set together. Thank you very much, the entire management. And we hope that it will be happening every year. It'd be nice to have a new set every year, you know.
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Freshness.
So how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Let me use the word good. I had to go to the club on Saturday with the whole family. When we got there, my car stopped working, and then we couldn't find our way back. We had to wait till 11, 12 p.m. in the middle of the night. I'm serious. We had to get a hotel, you know, so that we can rest and then take the car home. When they finally was, you know, they were able to fix. Said it was the pump issue, it was the belt issue, everything just caught. Everything on our way
happens for you.
And I was supposed to have kids over. Imagine if those kids had come to my house. I would have carried 3 children, 6 children with my. It was just so stressful.
Because my kids were so disappointed. They were supposed to spend the weekend with her, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to go see and come this house. We're going to go see and come this house. We're going to swim." We packed swimming pool and their swimming trunk and all of that, and they were really, really disappointed. But like, you know, everything happened.
How was your weekend, Tokwe?
My weekend. So my wedding anniversary will be tomorrow. And we are...
How many years?
8 years. Yes, 8 years. And we are rebirthing our union. So it was a tense weekend. And it was filled with a lot of meetings and discussion. What next? You know, what next? What should it be? What should the ideal picture be? And I'm reading books, and I'm reading too much. So my husband is wondering what's going on with you, and I'm struggling. I want to get him to do, and I realize that I'm trying to force him to do what I'm learning, and it shouldn't be. We need to work together, and we're truly becoming one.
With my husband, I mean, I have loads of books I'm reading. You know, the one that Praise gave us recently, Out of the Box Parenting. I have others on. I was like, please, all these your books are reading. Don't be bringing the things they're saying, because this is me.
But it changes you, and it will be a bit uncomfortable, which is what is going on. But no, there was no party. I was really at home most of the time. There's no party going on. But yesterday was Uwa's birthday.
Sayuwa Mesale. She's one of our co-hosts.
Yes, and today is Sandra Eze's birthday. Happy birthday to Sanzi. And today again is Okpe's birthday. So like, it's a birthday. It's a birthday.
Okpe is one of our assistant producers, and she does an amazing job in the team. She's a year older today, so we're celebrating her. Thank God you don't have time to come and tell us your...
You are not serious. I wanted to really shower Okpe some praises. Because,
go ahead.
We've been talking, and she's been, what would I say, confiding certain things in me. So I see a stronger Okpe. Happy birthday, Okpe.
You know
that thing I said this morning. I'm actually not. I'm just a gossip friend. So, but from gossip we turn counselor. So
fantastic.
Happy birthday, Okpe.
That's good. Cool, cool.
How was your weekend?
My weekend, my little baby was asking me, "Mommy, why are you so slow?"
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm
because she's pregnant.
I'm taking up the staircase. You're too slow. And I'm thinking, okay, girl.
Explain.
Explain. I have a baby. I'm constantly carrying a baby. And he's like, oh. I mean, they named the baby already. I mean, they called the baby the name. I mean, they have a name already for the baby. And,
wow.
And that name is sticking.
And you don't want it?
No. I mean, the whole house has accepted the name.
And they were the ones that
everybody has named the child.
I named my babies from 6 months.
In fact, even the house girl is already saying, but please don't disturb the name, the baby. I
named my babies from NYSC. Are
you serious? Let's go on a break. It's Monday. There's a lot to talk about. Yes, stay with us. We'll be right back. With the punch, as usual, Labour leaders shun meeting with federal government, aviation workers, others to join strike Tuesday. Pastor in viral sex video relocates church over threats. Missing general, police parade 19 suspects. Ekiti PDP reps disown Olujimi, restates loyalty to Fayoshe. Buhari certificate saga, worst national embarrassment, says PDP. Stop donating like Father Christmas, Atiku tells Buhari. Lagos Council renews bid to take over Ikoyi registry. INEC writes Rex bans officials from the WhatsApp groups. Ganduje. Serap gives Buhari 14 days to order Ganduje's probe. Lots and lots of stories. This is our pastor that they said that they found that had released a video, allegedly released a video. I heard that you located this church.
Zion Assembly, Evangelical Assembly, whatever in Lekki. So this pastor, who released a video as far as I'm concerned.
Is it confirmed that he was the one that released?
No. Okay, so allegedly. Can I just finish what I'm saying? He is alleging the lady released the video to blackmail him for 200 million. And I'm wondering, like my friend said on the show on Thursday.
Does he have the money?
Does he have that money? Then she is alleging he released the video to compel her to marry him. Now the video and the way it was made tilted towards him releasing the video. I saw that video twice just because of the stories flying both sides. Who made the video? Who was doing what? Who was deliberately doing that video? So who was going to use the video? So for me,
okay, that's in your own court of law. But generally, what the story was saying, so he has this branch in Aja and Lekki, and both of them, none of the churches were functional yesterday. And
because he's afraid for his life, according to him.
And he's getting into depression.
And that he is afraid of the life of his members. The only thing he regrets was taking part in premarital sex.
Oh, really?
And I wonder, everybody is a thief. It's the person they break meat.
The Ganduje story.
I'm saying, okay, go ahead, please.
So the anti-corruption group, Serap, has ordered, they wrote a letter to the president to probe Ganduje. They are giving him 14 days to do that. You know, the government came out to say that the problem is a state issue and not the federal. So they are saying that in 14 days, if he does not probe...
Why are you saying Serap? It makes sense.
Serap, no, it doesn't.
Serap knows that it's covered by immunity under the Constitution.
Of course.
They know the only body, whether a governor is covered by immunity or not, that is empowered to probe or investigate him is the House of Assembly.
State's House of Assembly. We still run a federative system where every state is empowered to run itself. Even though the federal government is financially empowering the states, the point is each state is autonomous. The governor is only accountable, number one, to his state's House of Assembly.
As well as the people of Kano should put pressure on the House of Assembly of Kano to do the needful and the right thing.
And we like at least the federal government should say something about this. At least either to put pressure, but the body language has to be right.
Condemn or accept. We don't. They can't help us get a prosecution. So we need the House of Assembly to impeach him so we can prove.
To the nation, Labour shuns talks with government to push strike plans. EFCC to push for Desani's extradition. Federal government pays 16 billion naira TSA cost in 2 years. Power agencies bicker over 500 billion naira payment. And also mounts more pressure on Buhari as the United Nations reviews Nigeria's 13 others human rights records and Prince Charles to address herdsmen attacks. So, power agency?
Yeah, let me quickly take the power agency story. The power generating company, that's the Gencos, have said that they've not gotten 500 billion payment from the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company and that they're already running at a loss. They've had to downgrade their what they're producing from 3,500 to about 3,000 megawatts because the transmission doesn't have capacity to distribute what they have. So there is a double loss. They haven't been paid since June this year, and it's supposed to be paid every month, maximum 2 months. But we have this going on right now.
Do we have time for the Prince of Wales?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Coming into the country. So the Prince of Wales and his wife, Princess Camilla, will be coming in from the 6th of November to the 8th, and they are planning to have a meeting with the president where they will discuss the herdsmen issues and prefer solutions to it.
I quickly mention the Zani story because we are quick to forget the crimes she committed. They are asking for her to be extradited back to Nigeria.
There are still allegations, right?
There are still allegations, allegations that are against her. Release of $1.3 billion NNPC cash to the ONSA, that's the Office of the National Security Advisor. There was also the case of, we don't know the whereabouts of $18.5 billion earning of the NNPC under our watch. We also have the case of the purchase of $3.7 million property on Banana Island in Lagos. Where did she get the money from? Acquisition of many properties around.
So we'll see how that goes.
I worry about it though, because I think I'd be fair when she's being prosecuted there. We're sure there will be a conviction that when she comes back here,
Daily Sun, minimum wage showdown. Labour insists on strike tomorrow.
we take that down.
Illegal fishing activities on Nigeria's waters worry some state government. 2019, violence likely in Lagos, Ogun, Ekiti Rivers, and others, says U.S. agency. APC buys voters' cards from Benue IDP, says PDP. Sean political bandits, Ohanide tells Ndibo. So Labour is saying they are definitely going on strike tomorrow.
Okay.
Today, I think ASU started theirs today, right?
Yes.
ASU started theirs this morning. And then the Labour is starting theirs tomorrow. And it's worrisome that Nupeng seems to be joining FAN. Everybody's joining.
So
Nupeng and FAN
will be joining midnight today, starting today. And all the other bodies joining. And the federal government has actually called a meeting that the NLC is not backing out of. They are not going to be part of that meeting. Pictures are in the paper of a meeting that they called where the NLC members and the TUC members boycotted that meeting.
Yeah.
So they're not willing to negotiate.
But they have their own meeting, tripartite meeting today.
Yes, the federal government has gone to court to get an ex parte injunction to stop the strike. But I don't
now
think
the strike
they got
is going
that
to be
already
illegal.
on Friday.
They got it on Friday to stop the strike. But I don't think the NLC are willing, from what they're saying in the papers, to obey that court.
Yeah, NLC is saying
they
that
did not get the order.
No, they didn't say they got it, but I think what the NLC is telling me, according to what I read, is that it's within the ambit of the law for them to go on strike, and they will.
Our federal government has set precedents of not obeying court orders. So
Anyways,
we really cannot blame those that
waterways. I read that story.
Yeah, please.
Just go and buy your fuel today. That's my own. Finish. Go ahead.
So Heineken is saying that illegal fishing is happening here. The usual practice is that you get a license for your ship to fish within our waterways, and there's a procedure to go, but they're boycotting that procedure. They are also claiming piracy, which they would stage by themselves and use that as an excuse to escape. Now, what he's simply saying is that the security of our waterways is already compromised, and the federal government should be looking into that particular thing, because not only will it promote this stealing in fishing, it's also going to promote insecurity that we're already battling on the land. So they should please look
with
into
our
it.
borders.
All right, let's move on very quickly to Vanguard. Labour insists on strike. We talked about that already. Amosun Yari Okorocha suffering change trauma, says Oshomole. Also begins indefinite strike nationwide today. It's less likely for Buhari to be defeated in 2019, says U.S. Institute. And we don't have rubber bullets, so military issues fresh warning to Shiites. Who has that story?
I have the story.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So the military came out to tell the Shiites who are claiming they stopped them from having a peaceful procession, that they were doing their job. And if you are coming after us, we don't have rubber bullets, we will gun you down.
They didn't say they were going down.
No,
Just
But don't have rubber bullets.
no, maybe they're implying, but they're saying that they don't have rubber bullets. But I think I also read in that article that, listen, if you have grievances with the government for detaining your leader, you don't take it out on the military. Take it out on the government, not us. We don't have rubber bullets.
So I think we need to respect our military more.
As much as I appreciate that the Shiites have a right to what they are declaring, they are demanding the release of their leader, they should conform with the law of the land. So if they want to do a procession, once they meet a military, they should stop there and continue their procession there. At that point, you can still be speaking out. Media will carry it rather than confront the military and try to corner the boycott.
They should have guidelines.
The ASU strike has started already. They are asking for, number one, the failure of the government to keep their part of the agreement in payment of the funds. Number two, they say that they are renegotiating. I am not a party to the ASU strike. I feel that the ASU they've gone on strike constantly for a long period of time. They should focus on doing research, giving us a good
story. So
I read the story.
A memorandum of action, an MOA there's a memorandum of action since 2017, and federal government was supposed to pay in tranches certain amounts of money before 2017. I'm talking of 2012 or so. So they are supposed to pay an amount of money. 20 billion is what the federal government finally offered now, which is not even enough. It's not conforming with what they have agreed. So they should renegotiate that agreement rather than compel ASU to take what they are offering.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up. We have no other time to take front pages. I was actually going to take the health one on Telegram, but let's move on. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we discuss the trending issue concerning getting house helps. That have trended. Wasn't it broke on Thursday? Different stories, and there's a new video online. We really need to know what to do in getting the right people to help us at home. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the rate at which we hear the atrocities committed by various house helps is becoming very alarming. From the recent story of a Togolese chef, actually, who allegedly stabbed his boss, to the story of a help who poisoned her employer and her grandchildren and their grandchildren and so much more. The question is, are these helps really necessary? And if they are, what should we be looking out for in getting one? We have with us the CEO, Nanny Academy, Amara Agbim, joining us. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Yeah, our first guest on our new set. Welcome.
Yeah.
So you can call us on 070-806-6814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Amara, I mean, aside from this, the recent stories that broke recently, there have been so many stories of people having issues with house help, actually stealing money, running away with money, or abandoning the kids, kidnapping, being part of a bigger gang out there.
Abuse.
What should we look out for? Because whether we like it or not, we can't really compare ourselves to those living abroad. They don't need help because obviously everything works. Microwave works, the light works. Here, there's so many factors that allows us to request for helps. What should we be looking out for in getting help? And when do we start looking for helps? And when do we not even have them at all?
Thank you for the questions. I mean, it's really very sad what is happening in the space. I read the story when Bolaji contacted me. I was like, oh, really? I didn't know about the second story, but then the story of the cook who stabbed the master has
allegedly.
Exactly, yeah. And it's really very sad. And then you can ask yourself, how careful can one really be? Yeah, how careful do you think you can be? But the truth is that you will know when you need to hire help.
Right.
And if you know that, then you have to start the process of analyzing your needs. What do I really want? And then how much of this person's time do I need? What do I want them to do for me? So when you do that, you're already working on your mindset so that you can have that positive mindset towards hiring the person, towards engaging the person while they're on the job. And then, of course, have also the mindset of, okay, I am going to treat this person well when they come, because eventually that is really going to determine how you get whatever you get out of them.
So there are many factors at play with getting help. I didn't grow up with conventional help. I know Jumoke kept saying her mom had 2 nannies when she was growing up, and the work wasn't the same experience for me. We had family. We used to have family. That's what we know. And usually it's not for the help, it's to help the family member. You know, you are actually begged to take in that family member, to sponsor the family member because they're having challenges. And that was the opportunity to also now, what we now get in return for sponsoring them is that they help us out with raising our kids. But the time has changed. Commercializing house helps and home assistance, rather, has become a challenge, because getting the right kind of person, what are the questions to ask? How do we search for those people? We have many agents out there. What level of preparation should I, as a mother or as a woman, go into? What are the questions I should know to ask before employing someone?
Okay, I think off the camera now, you just told me you had a neighbor's help who traveled, and probably over the years you've observed the lady and you're comfortable working with the person. That's also fine. So there are different ways to get a help. You can hire just like she did, and you can also hire by going to an agency. But before you go to an agency, I really advise mothers to visit the agency. Okay. Because what we notice in Lagos is many people, they'll call on the phone, I don't have time. Oh, well, you don't have time. And then you want somebody to bundle somebody to your house to come and resume. Unfortunately, we don't even do that at the Nanny Academy. You have to pass through an interview process, and that is really the best practice.
As the person who wants
So you advise everybody now to look for agencies. Don't just call somebody to bring, because people always bring somebody from
even if you call somebody, who is that person? That person can be a one-man agency, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then you need to know the person, verify the person, know where the person is. That's a sort of background check.
What are the parameters that the agency now must look into to say, okay, this is a worthy help that I can send to someone? Because by the time we start to, in case of robbery, like or the Magodo case that we had where the children were kidnapped, once you arrest the help, arrest the agency as well and prosecute, I think then agencies will do their job. So in order to avoid that, what would the agency be looking at?
Okay, so now we're talking to agencies, not mommies again. Yes. Well, I think for agencies, the first thing you do, naturally, you recruit nannies or, helps, from wherever you recruit. You can recruit by word of mouth, you can recruit by advertising.
So interested.
Yes, because you need to make sure that the people are interested to do the job, not forced. And that's why the other method of asking people, bring somebody for me, is not so good, because some of them coerce people to come and do it just to please you who asked them to bring someone. So agency will recruit and then start their background check process. So, now,
there are family members who are they've still not accepted that you can go through agencies, like you have in-laws and you have extended family who will still insist that let's go to the village and bring somebody. And to some people, that works. To other people, it doesn't. Even when you get from agencies, that works and it doesn't. So what's the 50-50 chance that me getting from an agency will guarantee me good help?
Okay, so both from the agency and even from the village, it's still the same question of, is this person willing to do this job, or are they being coerced to do it against their will? Because that's what really happens to maybe 70% of the people that come from village, from my own survey. Yes, coerced, they are coerced. Oh, just go and help your auntie, stay there. After they'll do this for you. Usually those expectations are not met. And when expectations are not met, what happens? People can, they say the heart of man is really what? Desperate, yes, and you don't know what the person can do. So I will advise anybody to make sure the first thing is, to interview the person that even wants to work for you, even if your mom recommended the person.
What plans can you have for a girl? Because once I had a nanny, a very young girl, and now she's studying medicine. My plan was for her.
How young was she when she came to
16.
You? Okay.
And I said to her, you go to school, these are the plans. So we worked towards it, and in a year we had achieved it. So what plans should you have for a help enough to encourage that help, not to get that bitterness that you're talking about? When you bring them into your house, how do you plan? Is it, okay, this is a working arrangement, I pay you, you sort yourself out, or you give them a future plan, give them a skill, or put them through to school? Which one do you think works best?
Honestly, what works best is this. Asking the person what they want. People want different things. And I've seen nannies who are employed, who are also being paid, but whom their employers went the extra mile of putting them through a trade, because they agreed and that's what they wanted. You just really can't force somebody to go and do something simply because they are under you. How many of us would want to train our nannies to become doctors like you did for yours?
No, but that always doesn't really work, because I had a help that I asked her, what do you want? She kept saying she wants to go to school. Okay. Now, it was really difficult getting her documents from where she's coming from, and because Lagos State got really, really hard.
Exactly.
Eventually, we snuck her in, legally wrong, but eventually she got thrown out because they found out that she was a ghost student. So, I now got her a lesson teacher. But even with that, she still wasn't up to scratch on what she was supposed to do. And she was way older than the age.
She wasn't what? How old was she?
She was like in her mid-20s, but
she wanted to go back to secondary
school. She wanted to start with like year 1, and we started her, and I got her a teacher. Primary school.
She couldn't even catch up with the secondary school.
No, secondary school. Yeah, so we started with year 1, the basic stuff, and GSS1, and we started with that basic lessons with her. But still, with that, she still couldn't catch up, and
But I have a question for you. Why would you want to hire someone like that?
No, she was in her mid-20s. I mean, she was mature enough.
So if you wanted to hire her, then why don't you think about saying, okay, since you want to do this domestic chore, let me put you through this, skill set that you need. I mean, in the job of...
She felt that the entire family...
Which school?
She insisted she wanted to go to school.
Do you understand? There is that gap. We have that gap in Nigeria of, people not identifying really what they want to do. I just went through a process with my daughter yesterday. She's in SS1 and she wants to choose her subjects, whether she's going to be a science student or an art student. That's really part of, this whole process. So now she's identified where she wants to be, and fine, she's going to go through that. When we get them to, it's the same thing, like, okay, why did you decide to do this job? Why did you accept to even come and work for me or stay with me? If that question is very clear, so you might insist, because you need to insist on the standards you want to get.
Exactly.
Yes, you need to insist on the standards. And if you don't insist on it, then you might just have to...
When we come back, we're going to take this conversation to the influx of foreigners, people from Togo, Lomé, all these other places, to come into Nigeria. And Philippines, yes, the Philippines. Stay with us right now.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, joining the conversation is the police PRO for Zone 2 Command, covering Lagos and Ogun, CSP Dolapo Badmos. Welcome to the show. It's always so good to have you. So you can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Now, we've talked about, getting helps from, Amara has helped us understand how do we get help with the best approach. But there's been an influx of foreigners coming in. Yes. And people just come in and they just open their doors to them and they start work. As the police, how would you advise that what kind of screening should we go through before we engage, especially those who are even non-Nigerian? We can't even trace where they're coming from.
Well, I would say, we are the one encouraging foreigners to come into our country and do all these menial jobs, because as a matter of fact, they now see Nigeria as a place where you can actually come and get your house help work done. But be that as it may be, if you want to get any house help, not even foreigners alone, it should be someone that knows someone and someone knows someone. There must be a chain that you can actually trace in case of anything. And I must also tell people out there that you should do more of profiling your house helps.
How?
There are two ways you can go about it.
Okay.
The first one is when you have the house help, don't forget I told you that let there be a chain that is traceable.
Okay.
And after doing that, when you bring in the house help, you can as well locate the division, the police division by you, and bring the house help in and tell the DPO to help you open a case file, or a file, not a case file right now, a file, a profile file. You get the names, the details, and if you want to go extra mile, you can go to the Intelligence Bureau Department of a state command. But in case you're too busy, you can achieve that. You can do that by a police station near you. And what are you doing in that is that, one, you are sending a chiva down the spine of your house help.
The records are...
Yes. So you are letting her know that, or him know that
You can't mess up.
you can't mess up and go with it. So it controls the psyche of the house help. And even if the house help has come for anything evil, uneasy becomes, the story. Yes. So he wants to leave.
I think that a lot of times we're desperate. I've been in the situation where I just wanted somebody. And I've had to have people that at first sight, I knew that this is not the kind of person I wanted in my house, but I needed help. And I felt in my head that I couldn't do without the help. And I allowed them come in and they'll do 2-3 weeks, they will go. And then I'll come do 2-3 weeks, they will go. And for 6 months, I had no help and I survived. I think that we should pass on the message of we shouldn't be so in such a hurry to bring in strangers into our homes, because they come with Ghana must goes and they just move in.
Yes. During the break, we had mentioned something that Amara was saying, because in our own thinking, the best way to maintain a help is to treat them like your own. They're your children, they eat from the same place, you buy them the same clothes you buy your kids, make them feel like family. I have found that has almost, that had blurred the line between work and play, because then she didn't, everything, when you go to the amusement park, she doesn't want to take care of the kids anymore. She wants to ride like they're riding. She doesn't, So Amara was saying something earlier that maybe we shouldn't go that far in corporate. What can you tell our viewers what you meant by that?
Yeah, so what I mean is this. So many people tell me, why do I have to pay this nanny so much? I'll buy your soap, I'll buy your, toiletries or whatever. Why do I have to pay so much? And I'll advise you to pay well. If you pay well, you don't need to go those extra miles. If you pay the person well, treat them like an adult, which they are.
Job.
Because they're not supposed to be like your, children. They're not your children. So by the time you pay them, do you really need to do those things? You don't.
Well,
and
let me take it from what Ope said. Like, you shouldn't be too desperate to put your life and your safety online for anything. Because if you're talking about the kids, we have nannies that, they have schools, they have crèche, and you can take your kids too. And you can manage yourself through. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Absolutely.
When you really need help and then you don't want to place your safety or your life online, then you will always have a way around it. And then we want to forget about family setting. At times, most of us have, you know, elderly ones we can pick on, you know, to come and help us for some time. To support, yes. Yeah. But most of us don't want to go that way because you say, I hear that a lot. I don't want family members. Of course, you know, some people have that. But what should come to your mind first is your own safety. And then secondly, like she's saying, that you should be very nice, and maybe that will, well, to some extent, it can control someone's mindset. But let me tell you, when someone is all out for evil, there is no amount of nicety.
Yes, and that's why doing what you said, you know, putting that shiver down their spine, letting them know that you're not beyond,
let's make
I know you're beyond
official.
Here, you know, so it really puts them, and I even tell people, sign contracts. I'm not saying you should don't
be nice to your husband. Yeah. So of course, there are, you know, moral code you should subscribe to.
Not necessarily being nice, but keep to your terms of engagement. Keep to your contract, because you should have a contract.
About agencies who, because when I started as a young parent having my child, I went through an agency that I wasn't sure if they were registered. I didn't really know about them being registered and all of that. But they take the money and they don't give to the help. So the help is slaving, and those agencies are making money, especially those ones that bring in the foreigners. They don't pay them.
Not just the foreigners, some Nigerians are doing that practice.
That's the one I know.
Really not the best.
Yeah, so you pay them, you pay the agency, you can pay for like a year or 2 years up front. They take all their money, and then they don't give the help.
No.
And so the help at the end of the day, over time, starts revolting.
Absolutely.
And that starts translating to how he or she handles the children.
Between professional agencies and agents.
Exactly.
Don't mix it up.
Yes.
You know, professional agencies are the ones that actually have offices, and they go, you know, they've done all the profiling for you, and then they give you professional house help, which they have their own terms of agreement and contractual agreement with the house help. Those ones don't bring problem, but there are not many. You don't get to see. But the ones you see are the agents that go, like they go to the villages, they harvest
children.
I like your use of the word harvest. Yes, and that's really what they do. It's crazy.
And then when they drop them with you, they careless, and they will take transportation, they will take everything, and at the end they won't
I will advise any employer to insist that you pay your help directly.
Exactly.
Don't pay through a third party. Yes. Open a bank account for your help and pay their money into their account, so you can trace it.
Save the money till when they are going.
Better to pay them, because they usually complain about that saving of money. Unless they ask you to save for them, don't save for anybody. Pay them their money.
Yes, pay them their money. I wanted to talk about, you know, aside us profiling and all that, you know, abroad they have cameras everywhere. You have CCTV. You can see when your house help moved out, who moved in with them. But in Nigeria, most of the time, these things are difficult because, you know, the way we are structured. Is it possible that you use my method, which is all the neighbors and my camera?
Yes,
so I'm coming in from the gate and
seeing everybody.
Let me pause you. I have a call from Banana Island because I don't think they are doing that in Banana Island. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Ken. I'm calling from Banana Island.
Yes, go ahead.
Ken.
What I'm saying is that what the officer said is wrong. It will not work here in Nigeria. For you to have a house help and you take her to police station to open a file, it's very, very wrong. It will not work here in Nigeria because you have already spoiled the mind of that person, and you're informing her or he that is an enemy. Or he's a suspect. It's not wrong. It won't work.
That's another part. The person will feel that she's a suspect.
The problem is that, secondly again, is that we don't take proper good care of our house help. When you take good care of your house help, they open up to you. Do you understand? By the grace of God, the people living with me, we go on vacation, I take them to Dubai. We've traveled together. They will help me.
Banana Island. You can afford it. Leave that one. Now, Banana Island conversation. Thank you very much, Ken. Go ahead, please.
Let me just pick what he has just said. There is difference between something being wrong and it will not work. Don't mix the two together. Yeah. If you are telling me that it will not work, I will explain the reason why you can make it work. But for you to say it is wrong, I will not agree with that. But when you're now coming to think, oh yes, it won't work, because you see, you control people's psyche. When the house help comes in, you say, oh, how are you? You are friendly, and you said, oh, I need to take you to my friend who is a police officer. We open a file, we put your passport, you get in with the house help, and you get out of the station with the house help. It's not that you're going to create enmity. It's not that you are telling us when the house help come and say, you can be stealing, no. I know you can be a thief.
That's
I know you can kill me.
Confrontation.
Then I have to take you to police station. Then you have created a bad, psychology for that person, and it will work that way.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take some more calls on Twitch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we went on break, Nima was talking about community watch. Is that still possible?
Yeah. Someone said, Banana Island is not possible, but I think it's very possible. So the person watching through the window who has an information for you when you come back from work can tell you, this is what I noticed in front of your house. How should you utilize the information is what is important. Do you agree?
Well, I want to say where you live determine what happens. If you're living in Banana Island, most of them I know they have, they installed cameras in their house, and they also have this security, that even before the house girl or house help goes out of the compound, they will call the security, the main estate security. And so they've also, utilized, or they are utilizing their own security, which is part of their environment. So a woman living in Agege who can actually reach out to the neighbor and say this, if the neighbors will be,
objective.
It's not a matter if they will be loyal enough. You understand? Because most neighbors also partner with househelps. But if you have loyal ones, you can actually rely on them.
Okay, I have a call from Yusuf. Yusuf, are you there from Ilorin? Oh, sorry. Yes.
I wanted to quickly say that. The last caller mentioned caring about your maid, and I think that we cannot, because all of us, I know us here, that we are kind to our maid, doesn't mean that that's the prevalent thing out there. Most people are actually not kind to their maids. They treat them like they are less than human beings, and these maids are human beings, and we should engage them. I realized that I had a maid, and when I asked the question that when I pay into this account, who gets the money? She said it was her uncle. Her uncle was the one getting the money. She was working, she worked with me for a year, and her uncle was getting the money in the claim that her uncle was going to send the money to her parents. But her mom didn't get it. Her mom died while she was still working with me. Wow. And the woman never got money, she never got help. So I think that we should, when she died, I now asked that, who is the money going to? She now, I said, I thought it was your mom.
So show some caring.
Show some care, ask questions.
Yeah,
so the question is for you, an agent. Now, do you have a training session for your helps? Yeah. Because a lot of them, sometimes when they come in, they are not,
they don't know how to iron.
They don't, no, aside from the house chores, they don't have these soft skills, they don't know how to speak properly, they don't know how to, they are rude, they don't know how to, be nice to people, aggression and all of that. Do you like train them on what is expected for them to do as
Yes,
helps?
we do that. That's part of the screening, that goes on. But then, mind you, most of the candidates are also not literate. But some also come literate, and there's really little we can do within the training period to change their literacy status. So what we do is we grade them and say, oh, this person, look at the skills they have and look at where they are. Okay. So are you okay with that? If you're okay with that, you hire. So you know what to expect instead of...
Mami says people should stop bringing underage children in their homes as help. Rather, they should go through agencies and should ensure that their helps are properly remunerated. If you can't afford the help, then don't have one. God judge says, let us do unto everyone, including ourselves, what we want to be done unto us.
Let me come to you, Mark, concerning bringing underage, because obviously it's illegal. A lot of people bring in 12-year-old, 13-year-old. What's the age? And is there somewhere, if a young child is being maltreated as a house help, can she run to the police for help? What exactly? Could you just, so that whoever is watching can know what to do?
Well, I know we have this department within the Nigerian police force who literally, their duty is basically to check, the people that are being used for this house help. Anyone below the age of 13 is not acceptable. Really? And when you are taking a 13-year-old, then you should have what you want to, build her for. Maybe you want to let her learn handwork, or you want to send her to school. So you're not just basically bringing her in to make her house help. And I think, if I may get it wrong, from the age of 17, 18 is the ones that are free because they believe they have their consent. They can actually give their consent to whatever they are doing. So I think those ones are free. But anyone below 13, it's not acceptable at all. And if any child is going through that, if he or she runs to police station,
So, man, this running to police station, we know, I've experienced it, that you don't enter the police station and come out without spending money. And some people are already agitating about it. What's the guarantee that I take my help to register in the police station, I won't be asked to pay something when I get there?
You will settle.
And I also add another question. This 13-year-olds you mean, do you mean they're supposed to be engaged as house helps or what? Because I think 13 years is too young. It's a minor.
There are some parents that they can't afford to train their own children. They want someone that they will be with, and then they will, go to school.
The kids.
So you are going to be like a guy then.
Yes.
But in our own psyche setting, most people when they come, they say, that's my house help.
You see, that's why I think it's a license for maltreating children.
No, even your house help is no license for you to maltreat anyone.
No, they are underage.
Even if you are paying, it doesn't matter. Even if it's 18 and you are paying salary, you don't have rights.
Unfortunately,
an 18-year-old may be able to defend themselves.
No, you don't even need to put somebody to an extent of defending his or herself.
Absolutely, I know, but people, you need to protect people.
There are some people that bring in
family guidance.
They become a guidance.
Like I did.
And there are some where
your tailor can say, I have a 13-year-old. Can you help me train?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to round up. We have to round up. But I think where we are heading, Amara,
I have a 13-year-old at home and I can't imagine.
Please don't let us get too used to house helps when they come into our house. It's security risk. Some people employ house help today, and tomorrow you let the whole of your house into their system. It propels them to want to harm you and take away stores. You understand?
For instance, up to today, nobody cleans my room.
Hang in there, Amara. Unfortunately, we have to round up. But I think where you're taking us to is that as we are moving forward and progressing, we need to use agencies that get proper adults, not kids anymore.
And even if you don't use agency, use a good referral system.
Okay,
and
we have to go. That's all we can take. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.